Like, share and subscribe. Like, share and subscribe. Wedding reception seating tips. Seating during your wedding reception is more important than it seems. You want your guests to feel comfortable, and for that, seating is critical. You can shape how much fun everyone has, since you can choose the best seating positions for your guests. Divorced parents, and people you know who hate each other are best kept apart from each other. To begin your wedding reception seating plan, you will first need to know how many tables you will set up at your wedding reception, as well as how many chairs will be at each table. To find this out, contact your wedding reception facility and make sure to also ask them for a chart of where the tables will be at your wedding reception. Although your seating chart should be prepared early, you shouldn't finalize it until about 2 weeks prior to the date of your wedding reception. Place card holders are not only attractive decorations, but they provide a great way to help your wedding guests with the seating. Your guests should be able to quickly find their seat. Each card should have the guests' or couple's names. Seat people with similar interests at the same table. Think of a unique and fun way to identify each table. Seat wedding guests of similar ages together. Seat family members who don't see each other often to help them catch up on the latest family matters. You should only seat family members together, if they like each other. Use place card holders to help your guest find their seats. Seat an even number of guests at each table. Your wedding reception guests who enjoy dancing close to the dance floor. To avoid possible conflicts, divorced parents should have their own tables. Seat them separately with their respective family members. Keep small children next to their parents. Don't worry about a seating chart for a cocktail only for wedding reception. If it's a very small party, you can skip the seating chart altogether. For a formal dinner reception, a seating chart is essential. Don't wait until the last minute to decide who should sit at which table. Proper seating is hard work, and it requires careful planning. Wedding planner, congratulations. Your big day is coming up and you want to have a memorable and successful wedding. A wedding planner is a very important part of keeping things in order. More importantly, a wedding planner helps to keep the timing of everything in order as well. Timing is the key to coordinating a good wedding. You need to schedule appointments for many people who all have different schedules. Knowing their schedules and synchronizing the appointments will help keep the flow of things going. A wedding planner will guide you through this process. I've provided a link at the top of this page where you can find the wedding planner that I use. I've planned and coordinated many weddings for many different budgets. I still find the main key is to have this all timed correctly. You should know how long it will take for each task to be completed. It's important to choose quality people and products. However, you still need to bring all this together. This planner gives you a layout and will bring things to your attention that you may have never thought of. Remember the old saying, I wish I knew then what I know now. Or I wish I would have done that a different way. This wedding planner was written by an expert who has coordinated hundreds of weddings. This wedding planner offers many tips that will keep you from making common mistakes and forgetting many important things. With this, you can focus and plan with ease instead of frustration. You don't want to have the most important day of your life messed up and disorganized. If you are well organized, your day will go smooth and you'll enjoy your wedding day and remember all of the good things instead of the blunders. Remember, it's your wedding day, not someone else's, so take charge and plan your wedding the way you and your fiancé want to have it. Your budget can be small or large. It's up to you how to make it your special and creative wedding. Your friends and family will be surprised when they see how well everything went. I strongly recommend a wedding planner. Go to the link at the top of this page and click it to get details of the wedding planner tips. I will be posting here in the future on many other helpful tips and links to help you plan and have a very successful wedding. Wedding plans, expensive. Saying thank you, priceless. Don't let your wedding day come and go without saying thank you. There isn't anything your groomsman wouldn't do for you. Your best man is proud of his new role as confidant. The ring bearer is at the ready. And they aren't expecting anything in return. So commemorate these friendships by choosing wedding favors with the same care you took in selecting a ring for your bride. It'll mean a lot to them. Saying thank you for being there, thank you for your support and advice, thanks for all the good times we've shared, that's what a gift can do. I've unwrapped keepsakes over the years that meant a lot to me. Some were from family, some were from high school friends, some from college buddies. It makes no difference how I know the groom. What makes the difference is the groom's thoughtfulness during what most people would agree is the most important event of his life. When should a groom give his gift? At the rehearsal party. This is the groom's last gathering with family and friends before the wedding, so it's the best time for him to commemorate the past while looking forward to the future. Keepsakes that will be appreciated. Personal and unique gifts work the best. For the ring bearer, something less sophisticated might appeal to his youth. The groomsman's gifts can be identical to one another, but the best man should be set apart. For the greatest impact, show that you've thought of the best man by giving him something that appeals to his special interest or hobbies. Wedding favors and gifts with engravings are a nice touch. Be sure to include the date and the occasion on your engravings. And for an added touch of class, find gifts that fit the groomsman's personality. Here are some favorites that seem to capture the best of what a gift can do. Hip flasks in any variety of stainless steel or leather. Cherrywood humidors and stainless steel cigar cases. Swiss Army pocket knives in red or silver and accessorized with lights, money clips and a multitude of utilities. Wedding golf gifts for groomsmen and the best man are increasing in popularity. Golf wedding favors and golf gifts and accessories fit the occasion well. Cufflinks in a variety of colors and styles are classical accessories the groomsman can wear on the wedding day. Other considerations for the groom. On the whole, the engagement and wedding require tireless efforts in planning. It's important that number one is forgotten. This is true from the moment you start selecting the wedding party to the time you finish the guest list. Including family, friends and co-workers in the fun will complete the occasion for you. Aside from the groomsman, wedding favors can be given to other special guests you wish to honor. At the rehearsal party, the bride and groom may present their parents and grandparents with a gift. But this is going beyond the ordinary and is considered optional. If extending your gratitude to include parents and special guests is your style, feel free to do so. The rehearsal party is a time to give liberally. In addition, wedding favors for all guests in attendance can spruce up receptions. Distributed at each place setting or handed out in any number of creative ways, the reception is another place to express your appreciation for everyone's support. The groom's gratitude attitude. Gratitude, says novelist A.J. Cronin, is something of which none of us can give too much. For on the smiles, the thanks we give, our little gestures of appreciation, our neighbors build up their philosophy of life. Giving groomsmen gifts that express your gratitude and sharing wedding favors with your wedding party, family and guests is a noble philosophy. Moreover, the gifts you give also reflect the joy between you and your bride-to-be. That's something to think about. Wedding reception location. The wedding reception site you select affect the atmosphere for your entire celebration. Everything from your invitations, your dress, the food that is served and the music will be impacted by the location for your wedding reception. Therefore, finding the right location should be on the very top of your wedding planning list. Before you begin your search, you should know at least approximately how many guests you would like to invite. You can change a lot about a venue, but there is nothing you can do about capacity. If you can't seat everybody on your list, you need to find another venue. The manager should be able to inform you of the maximum capacity of the place. Another essential factor is your first impression. First impression is so important that if you hate the place at first, it is unlikely you would enjoy celebrating your most special day there. You don't have to get married in a hotel, a country club, or any of the obvious places. There are a variety of possibilities for exciting wedding receptions. Historic buildings or exotic beach destination weddings are a couple of examples of out-of-the-ordinary wedding locations. Whatever location you chose, be sure you understand what's included. Some venues quote you with food, some without. Others may include the furniture such as chairs and tables, and you may have to provide it yourself at other locations. Make sure you understand if the cake is included, how much staff is provided, if food and beverages included, etc. Make sure you understand exactly what's and is not included. Don't assume anything. The cost of a reception venue can add up based on what is or isn't included. Try to bargain and make sure the management understand that you are considering several other places. Make sure everything is in writing. It protects you and the venue to have everything in writing. Wedding practices. American style residing in the United States makes one feel liberated, in other words, free to do whatever you want, free to live your life, freedom of love, and free to make your own choices, allowing you to break all traditions. There are a great many practices still adhered to. Some people find tradition hard to cast aside. Here are some distinct Western touches. The Yanks have a fantastic, unique way in personalizing their weddings, which means giving priority over engagements which are not traditionally celebrated in a way that it's in some countries. Old-fashioned, original, down on bended knee marriage proposals, the better, they say. Wedding preparations start with the engaged couple visiting parents, family, and informing them of their engagement. Engaged couples intend to invite more friends along to their engagement party than that of the wedding, because engagement parties cost a lot less than any planned wedding reception. Light snacks on the menu will be just that light, e.g. cocktails and hors d'oeuvre. To make the wedding day cost-effective, couples will ask more colleagues and friends to the engagement party, therefore less to cater for if on a tight budget on the day they tie the knot. Bridal shower preparations are given by the maid of honor and bridesmaids. A bachelor party is certainly on the cards for the groom-to-be. One tradition I think that will never be cast aside. Drinking should be consumed in moderation. You need to be steady on your feet when taking those vows. A good idea is to make sure all wedding invitations include response cards. This way guests will let you know if they can attend. Wedding invitations are usually sent within 4/6 of a week before the occasion. Rehearsal dinners are sometimes carried out with wedding party guests who come from faraway places to attend the wedding practice. Word has it that the groom's parents foot the dinner bill cost. Wedding invitations are usually sent within 4/6 of a week before the occasion. Rehearsal dinners are sometimes carried out with wedding party guests who come from faraway places to attend the wedding practice. Word has it that the groom's parents foot the dinner bill cost. The bridal luncheon is hosted for the bride's attendance on the wedding day itself. However, time may not allow this to be part of the routine on the wedding day. This also applies to the groom and groomsmen. Religious ceremonies are very popular with the Americans, even if they hold no religious beliefs. However, problems can arise when a couple gets married from different faiths or religions. The feeling where bad luck prevails if the groom should see the bride the day before is still upheld in many parts of the world. The Yanks are adamant in keeping to the rules and comply with this voodoo curse, as some would see it, so the groom bides his time and takes notice when the bride walks down the aisle. Still, in practice, the groom and groomsmen make their entrance into the chapel through a side door. Brides are still given away by dads, sometimes by two males if they have a stepfather. Formal receptions usually have a bridal table where the couples and the chosen attendants sit. As guests arrive for the reception, food and drinks are served on entry. Gift lists are on show for the guest, thus making it easy for them to choose the right present for the happy couple. A fabulous idea to say thank you for all gifts received is to send personalized notes to all the guests who attended. The choice is yours whether you stick with tradition or not, but one thing that does not change in the eyes of an American is that most take their vows very seriously, for better or worse, till death do us part. It's still common in American wedding practices. Wedding rings. Choosing the right ones. Wedding rings have long been a part of the tradition of marriage. The highlight of every wedding ceremony, wedding rings represent a couple's promise of remaining faithful and loyal to each other all the time of their lives. The use of wedding rings date as far back as the time of ancient Egypt, when Egyptians create rings from reeds and other plants that grow on the Nile River for couples to exchange, symbolizing their never-ending love for each other. Today, conventional forms of wedding rings are those that consist of precious metals that are usually worn on the ring finger, the fourth finger of the left hand. This practice stemmed out from the belief of the hand-heart connection, that a vein of blood from the fourth finger of the left hand goes directly to the heart. Medical science, however, has already refuted this claim with their discovery of how the circulatory system works, and although the tradition of wearing the ring on the fourth finger of the left hand still prevails, some people now prefers to wear their wedding rings on their right hand. Because wedding rings are the ultimate symbol of lifelong love and commitment, it's important that you choose rings of a high quality, one that will last for a long time, perhaps as enduring as your marriage. Below are some factors to consider when buying wedding rings. 1. Establish your budget. Going into a jewelry store with the idea of how much you are willing to spend and how much you can actually spend for your wedding rings will save you a lot of time. 2. Choose the material. There are numerous wedding ring materials for you to choose from. Some of them are the following. Gold, considered as the most traditional wedding ring material. Gold comes in a variety of color: yellow gold, pink gold, white gold, green gold, and quality 14K, 18K, and 24K. Platinum, considered as one of the finest, purest, and rarest precious metals. One of the strongest, heaviest, and the most enduring of all metals, wedding rings made of platinum is ideal to wear every day because it's hypoallergenic, it resists tarnish, and it shows little wear. It's, however, more expensive than gold. Diamonds, the hardest substance known to man. Diamonds are considered as one of the most luxurious and sought-after gem and wedding ring material, with its beauty, purity, and durability symbolizing long-lasting love. Note that the value of a diamond is determined by the 4 C's: cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. Other materials that are used for wedding rings include metals such as titanium, tungsten carbide, and nickel silver, and precious gems such as ruby, sapphire, emerald, and topaz. 3. Choose the style. Wedding rings also come in different styles and designs, such as the following: Celtic, Irish design wedding rings, antique and vintage rings, designer wedding rings, custom wedding bands, traditional plain bands, beaded edges, engraved rings, matching rings, tattooed wedding rings. Depending on your personal preference, your wedding ring should be in a design and style that's comfortable to wear and one that will reflect your personality. 4. Browse stores. Find the best deals by looking around the different jewelry stores to compare the different styles and prices that they offer. 5. Consult an expert. Seek advice from a jeweler with a good reputation who can help you find the perfect wedding ring. Wedding rings are not merely pieces of jewelry. They're significant symbols of a couple's love and commitment for each other, so be sure to find a wedding ring that you can treasure forever. Wedding planning software. Get organized the easy way. Wedding planning is no easy task. There are so many activities and events that must be tracked to keep the wedding on schedule. It's amazing that people actually choose to become experts in wedding planning. While hiring someone to help you with your wedding is ideal, it's not always feasible. Individuals who specialize in wedding planning can charge as much as 10% of the cost of the wedding. For many couples, this extra charge is reason enough for them to take charge of their wedding planning themselves. There is plenty of software on the market that can help make this decision a smart one. One feature that's a definite must in wedding planning software is a calendar. This is not just a function for keeping track of dates. The software should allow you to set notifications of important events. Email reminders are usually the type of notifications that wedding planning software includes. If your mobile telephone has a text messaging feature, the ability to receive email reminders on your mobile telephone is a great benefit. Wedding planning involves a significant number of tasks. Being able to coordinate these tasks is essential in a wedding planning software program. When you send out your wedding invitations, you can easily keep track of who has responded and who hasn't. Your tasks aren't limited to your wedding ceremony. There are specific tasks associated with the wedding reception that you also need to track. A seating plan is customary for a wedding reception. With wedding planning software, you can keep track of the seating arrangements. You'll undoubtedly receive many gifts from family and friends. Having the ability to track these gifts so that two can send a thank you card is a feature that is handy. In addition to scheduling and tracking, wedding planning involves budgeting. You don't need something as complex as QuickBooks or Peachtree, but you will need the ability to monitor your spending so that you have enough money to pay for all your wedding planning needs. An added bonus of software designed for wedding planning is the ability to create custom stationery that you will need for your wedding. This feature is important to wedding planning because it can save you a bundle of money. A software program that includes this feature undoubtedly contains templates that you can use as a guide for creating the invitations and other stationery you need in your wedding. Wedding reception. There are an infinite number of possibilities for your wedding reception site. Where you get married should represent your style. It should fit into the image you had envisioned yourself since the first day you started planning your wedding. As you look for your wedding reception venue, be sure it is fitting theme for your wedding. Does it fit the theme of your wedding? Number 1 is expecting you to create a Broadway show production, but be sure the location accommodates the overall theme and fee of your wedding, whether it be a location, a flower The location of your wedding reception needs to reflect the style and personality of the bride and groom. In addition, it needs to be an enjoyable, memorable experience for the wedding guests. Selecting a reception site will depend on its availability, price, location to the wedding ceremony site, and its capacity. Having your ceremony and reception in the same location can save you money and stress. One of the most important factors to consider is capacity. If you can't seat all your guests, it doesn't matter how much you want a location. Only visit sites that can accommodate the number of guests you plan to invite. You should also be flexible when determining your wedding date. Chances are the venue you like is already booked for your date, but you may be able to secure it for following week. If you really like the site, it may be worth the wait. Find out how they charge for their services. Most hotels and restaurants charge per person, where a flat fee is charged for each guest, including food, beverages, tables, chairs, linens, etc. Other venues such as clubhouses, parks charge you based on a period of time. Most importantly, you should feel comfortable at your own reception. Follow family traditions if those are important to you, but not because you feel pressured by family or guest expectations. The big day has been set and now you've tons of wedding preparations to attend to, preparing the guest list, looking for a caterer, shopping for the perfect wedding dress, and a lot more. All of these are essential in putting together a memorable wedding, so remember to have all these on your wedding checklist. Also, do remember to include on the top of your checklist, choosing a perfect wedding ring. Selecting a wedding ring is not as easy as it looks. It requires much thought too. After all, it's the wedding band that binds the couple together and will be worn by the bride and groom for their entire married life, and therefore must be something that they would not get tired of wearing. Most important when choosing a wedding ring set is to decide on a budget. The couple should consider how much they could afford to spend for the wedding rings. Based on this budget that the couple have in mind, decide on the material they want their wedding bands to be made of. The materials from which wedding rings can be made of have evolved through the years. However, the most popular are still those made from classic 14K or 18K yellow gold. Gold rings remain to be very popular both for wedding and engagement. Wedding rings made from white gold are also gaining popularity, it being very stylish looking and exuding a very modern aura. Also, white gold goes well with other silver and platinum jewelry, as well as with most clothing fabric. Platinum, being one of the hardest metals, is also a very suitable material for a wedding ring. For one, it's very durable and therefore will endure wear and tear for a very long time. Platinum wedding rings may also be a symbol for enduring love. That's if couple wanted a romantic twist in picking a wedding ring. Platinum rings looking very similar with rings made of white gold looks very stylish and elegant. However, platinum wedding rings are the most expensive, but if the couple considers the fact that it is something that will last them a lifetime, then the cost probably would not really matter. Titanium is a popular material, especially for wedding rings for men. It's light, long-lasting, and is not as expensive as platinum. Titanium wedding rings are similar to white gold rings in appearance. The only difference is that titanium wedding rings are so light you can hardly feel it when worn on your finger. As for the wedding ring style to choose, there are the traditional plain bands, the more elaborate ones with beaded edges. There are also the modern designs of two-tone wedding bands. The Celtic wedding rings engraved with ancient knotwork are also hot these days. Solitaire rings with a precious stone are also classic designs for wedding bands. Oftentimes the bride may want to match her wedding ring with the engagement ring. Of course, this is also something that has to be taken into consideration, especially as she wants to wear both rings on the same hand. In choosing for a wedding ring, foremost consider your budget and then decide on the material. Also, having to wear your wedding bands for a really long time, it's also worth considering choosing something that would best work with your clothes and the other jewelry you usually wear. Above all, choose a wedding ring that you will be most comfortable in wearing. Good luck on your wedding ring shopping. Wedding music, areas and options. There will be music played throughout the day at your wedding. Some areas you will want to remember to arrange music for include the period of time as the guests begin arriving at the ceremony venue, special music for the recessional and processional, special music as the wedding party signs the marriage license, some music for after the recessional is complete, music while guests arrive and begin mingling at the reception venue, background music during the reception dinner, any music. The musical selection should change with the entrance of the bride, and though Here Comes the Bride remains the most popular choice for the bride's walk, many brides are beginning to select their songs as an illustration of their individual tastes. Again, the song choice should be one that does not include words in the original writing. As the bride and groom and others sign the marriage license, most weddings will include a special number by a live singer or group and some accompanying instruments. The song choice should reflect the emotion of the moment, as two lives are joined together in harmony by free will. The recessional offers a great opportunity to choose a fun song that reflects a festive mood as well as the tastes of the couple. The recessional represents the moment that the couple is first introduced as being married to the public, and there will often be clapping and cheering. Have some fun with the moment. Some songs that I have known couples to choose include Winnie the Pooh, a punk version of Earth Angel, Rock the Casbah, and Oh Boy, by both Buddy Holly and MXPX. At the reception, you will want to make sure you have a sound system set up that is suitable for your chosen music. There should be music played as guests come in and during dinner, as well as any planned performances during the formal program. After the program, it is time for the music to be turned up and the dancing to begin. The bride and groom should pick the music for both their first dance together and the second dance, which will be with the parents. These song choices are totally up to the discretion of the couple. Wedding planning advice: how to get started. Wedding planning can be intimidating at first, and for good reasons. Nightmares of late tux deliveries, ugly wedding cakes, and makeup-stained wedding dresses could scare anyone catatonic. The best way to have the perfect wedding is to start off on a good foot. You can start planning your wedding right now without spending a dime. Select a wedding date. After you've told the world that you are tying the knot, it's a good idea to not take too long selecting a wedding date. That way, when you are shopping wedding vendors, you know what date you need beforehand. It keeps you from putting things off, because the wedding date will be quickly approaching. It gives your friends and family time to plan ahead. It's a good idea to tell them as early as possible, especially if you are getting married in the summer, due to many people planning vacations during that time. Wedding coordinating help. Hire a wedding coordinator. I know you think it's expensive, but you will thank yourself in the end. If you don't want to bear the expense of hiring a wedding coordinator, get some talented family member to help you. Any type of help will do. Sometimes getting a 1ND opinion can help you think about issues that you wouldn't have thought of before. Above all, you should be enjoying yourself and not stressing out, and getting some help will help you accomplish that. What type of wedding do you want? Your wedding coordinator can help you determine the type of feel you want your wedding to give. Do you want it small and intimate, big and formal, or somewhere in between? How about the time? If you've a lot of out-of-town guests, it may be a good idea to have your wedding in the early evening, but not too late. Having your wedding at 10 a.m. may not go over too well with them. Wedding organizers like notebooks or software can keep you from going into the insane asylum, for you probably can't and shouldn't try to keep all those numbers in your head. This way you are less likely to forget the small expenses that tend to add up in the end, like wedding dress, shoes, slips and veils. http://weddingchannel.com and http://thenot.com have free online wedding organizer software that includes a budget and expense calculator. At the very least, attempt to carry a notebook with you and record your wedding budget, expenses and tasks. Wedding guest list. Making a wedding guest list now is not too early. Well, at least attempt to do it. Combine the guest lists of future in-laws with your parents and your own guest lists for a good starting point. Don't fret too much at first, because this will only be a rough draft. Your wedding coordinator can help you with this also. A good idea for all of you is to start off with those you must invite and end with those who you would like to invite, and go from there. Choose your colors. Picking your color scheme will of course make decorating a whole lot easier. The wedding decor that you want so badly may not come in the colors that you want, so it is good to do this early on. The same idea goes for the wedding party's attire. Above all, relax. It's your wedding day, not a final exam. And if something goes a little awry on your wedding day, try not to panic. Usually things work out in the end when you have loved ones to help you. Wedding shower favors. See packets. Wedding favors are traditional. They originated in Europe many years ago as a thoughtful way of saying thank you to guests. Wedding shower favors do not trace their roots back as far but are a growing tradition. Small trinkets that are handmade or purchased should be chosen for their ability to convey your thanks. Wedding shower favors of seed packets are a creative and inexpensive way to convey that thank you. No matter what time of year you've your wedding shower, seed packets chosen from one of the groups below will be appropriate. Bird seed packets. In many countries, wedding guests traditionally throw rice at the young couple as they hurry toward a waiting car. Rice was a sign of fertility, and although many people never thought of that, the fun of pelting the bride and groom with handfuls of the grain was common. When it was found that rice could be dangerous to birds that swooped in to clean up after the wedding, bird seed began to take the place of rice. Wedding shower favors of seed packets made up of bird seed are a way of telling friends ahead of time that you want to care for the birds. How to prepare wedding shower favors of bird seed. Bridesmaids or friends giving the wedding shower can purchase wedding shower favors of seed packets ready filled or make them by hand. 1. Begin with small throw pouches made of tulle. Pre-made throw pouches may be purchased in a variety of colors. Or make your own tulle throw pouches. Match the colors to the wedding color scheme or use a rainbow of pastel colors. Bird seed throw pouches are usually about 3x4, closed at the top with a drawstring in a matching color. 2. Wedding shower favors of seed packets can be filled with your own special blend of bird seeds that will appeal to the birds present at that season. Or purchase mixed bird seed at your local garden or hardware store. Filling the pouches will be easier with a favor creator such as those sold by companies that make throw pouches. 3. Attach tags that invite friends to carry the favors to the wedding and throw the bird seed in place of rice. Flower seed packets. Wedding shower favors of seed packets are especially nice for a garden wedding. The bridal shower can be themed as the wedding will be, and flower seeds used as wedding shower favors. Any wedding shower theme, however, can be enhanced by the idea of planting daisies or forget-me-nots. If you choose daisies, invite guests to plant the seeds and watch the bride and groom's love for one another grow and blossom. If forget-me-nots are your choice, suggest that they be planted as a reminder that even though the bride is beginning a new life, old friends remain dear. How to prepare wedding shower favors of flower seed. To make wedding shower favors of seed packets, follow these instructions. 1. Buy flower seeds in bulk. 2. Wrap suitable amounts of seed in cellophane, or pour seeds into 2x3 clear poly bags available in craft stores. 3. Tie the mini bags with ribbon in colors to match your theme. 4. Attach a small dried flower or silk flower for an accent. 5. Using white or pastel-colored business card stock, print out directions for planting the seeds. 6. Attach a business card to each of the bags. Wedding shower favors of seed packets can also be purchased. Some are wrapped in clear plastic with an appropriate bridal shower label. Others are packaged in the usual envelopes, with a special wedding sticker. Matchbook wedding shower favors of seed packets. This unique wedding shower favor caught our eye while browsing the internet. 1. Each seed packet resembles a large matchbook. 2. Inside is stapled a packet of wildflower seeds that attract butterflies. 3. The matchbooks measure approximately 2¼ by 3½ and are printed on glossy photo paper. 4. The back of each matchbook features a word of thanks with an invitation to plant the seeds as a memory of the wedding. A lasting tradition. Not that many years ago there was a wedding tradition of seeds. Relatives of both bride and groom wanted to be sure the young couple had seeds to plant for food, so each family passed on some of their family garden seeds, ensuring that the new garden would be full and fruitful. It was a good tradition then, and could well become a lasting tradition. Wedding reception tips for brides on a budget. Creating a beautiful wedding environment on a budget is simple, says Sid Bucero, a party planner and owner of the Fish Creek House Bed and Breakfast in Whitehall, Montana. By putting a personal touch on everything from table centerpieces to wedding favors, brides and grooms can save while creating memories for years to come. While June is still the most popular month for weddings, according to a recent study by Hallmark.com, September and October are quickly gaining in popularity. Sid Bucero offers some great last-minute planning tips this fall for brides and grooms to be. If renting a reception tent, create a romantic environment by purchasing shearing fabric and 2-inch ribbon from a local discount retailer to drape around the canopy. Create billows of fabric and hang from the ceiling wrap around poles, and swag in the entryway. Whether throwing an indoor or outdoor reception, flowers help set the tone but can quickly add up. A typical flower budget is 15% of the overall cost of a wedding. Consider using some of the beautiful and realistic-looking silk flowers available today intermingled with arrangements of fresh flowers to keep the romance high, the costs low. The bride and groom can use the silk flowers in the home for years to come. Every bride wants to do something unique at her wedding. Create a dramatic, sweet-smelling entrance for guests by lining a walkway to the reception venue or reception tent with fresh rose petals. Also consider renting a bubble machine, available at retailers such as Walmart, for some added ambience and fun. Renting both table settings and white linen tablecloths can get expensive. Instead, consider purchasing clear glass plates from a discount retailer. Stack the salad plate on top of the dinner plate and place a large leaf between the two for a very pretty place setting. Buying plates is often less expensive than renting, and the bride and groom can keep them for the years and dinner parties ahead. Remember to keep centerpieces either low enough or high enough so guests can see each other from across the table. A simple cake pedestal adorned with sugared fruits and a candle makes a beautiful and an inexpensive centerpiece. Add to the sugary sparkle by placing candles in votive candle holders to illuminate the centerpieces from underneath. Remember to place approximately ½ an inch of water in each candle holder or glass for easy removal of melted wax. For more formal wedding receptions, assigning guests to tables is considered proper etiquette, but that doesn't mean it has to be stuffy. Purchase large sugar cookies and pipe romantic words like joy, hope, love, and forever on each cookie. Place one cookie in each centerpiece to replace traditional numbered tables and have your place cards direct your guests to these romantically identified tables. Wedding favors that double as place cards can be made by purchasing sugar cookies from a local bakery that are iced in white. Pipe each guest's names on the cookies in colored icing a day or two before the wedding. Place in cellophane bags, tied with a ribbon, and set at each guest's place setting so guests know where to sit. Handmade keepsakes given out during the wedding reception are an easy and thoughtful way to thank the wedding party. Create beautiful, unique cards for the bridesmaids by purchasing simple white note cards, decorated with the wedding's theme colors embellished with different fabrics, or small trinkets purchased from a craft department. Write a cherished memory or personal note inside the card, which bridesmaids can keep for the years to come. And don't forget the wedding cake, which can be very expensive depending on the number of guests attending. Consider purchasing a decorated sheet cake from a local bakery in addition to a smaller tiered cake. Then marry them together as one elaborate cake with piping and rose petals. Wedding shower favors. Helping you celebrate the last night of freedom. Wedding shower favors should be chosen carefully. They represent the bride's last chance to have some fun. Unlike wedding day favors, which may have to embrace a whole range of guests, from grandparents to your sister's kids, wedding shower favors are just for the girls. And after a long period of dedicated planning and proffering support, don't your shower guests deserve all the fun of frivolous wedding shower favors? And let's not forget the bride wedding shower party favors should reflect her last foray into single female life. Wedding shower favors should be chosen to reflect the loves of the bride. After all, with all the hard work her new husband is going to require, who knows when she'll get to relive the fun represented by her wedding shower favors. So who chooses the wedding shower party favors? Just like the planning of the shower itself, there are no hard and fast rules. Just as wedding traditions are adapting to fit the wide range of couples getting married today, wedding shower favors are available to suit the interests of any bride. Regardless of who is planning the occasion, the wedding shower party favors should embody the theme of the shower itself, and this will depend on the personality of the bride. A good bridesmaid will know exactly what her bride needs. Whether she's a serious type or a dedicated partygoer, there are wedding shower favors available to suit every type of shower. Whether you are bride or bridesmaid, remember that the shower is hopefully a one-off occasion, so use your wedding shower favors to make it as memorable as possible. These are also the items that will remind your closest girlfriends of celebrating their last big night of singledom with you, so consider choosing wedding shower favors that can double up as keepsakes. Hopefully, your wedding shower favors will help you have a night to remember. Wedding shower favors work well when they follow your shower theme. Wedding planning insights. How to plan the perfect wedding day. There is a great deal of planning that goes into any large event, but a wedding takes a lot of planning and organizing. You've to make sure that the venue is booked, the dress fits, the bridesmaids have their dresses, the flowers are going to be there, the minister is well, the music is still on, the reception hall is ready, the guests are coming, your bride or groom is coming, and the rings are there. Like I cite a lot of planning for a wedding. A wedding needs to be carried out with most organizing as possible. Everything should run smoothly without any hitches, and that requires a lot of planning. Usually families and friends get together to sort out the wedding, but sometimes people hire a wedding planner. They are quite expensive but have a lot of expertise in the field of weddings. I think that they have a great job. Wedding planning requires a knack to know how things work and how things will go. You need to be confident enough to ensure that the day runs as smooth as a lake and not like a waterfall. In fact, water features are great at a wedding. Keep that in mind. There are great tips and advice to help your wedding planning go a lot easier and a lot less stressful. On the internet there are articles and tools to help you keep your wedding calm. There are also lots of television shows in channels like the Discovery Channel which are full of informative ideas for your wedding and how to plan things such as the flowers, the cake and the dress. One of the great tips I like is to make a checklist. Sit down and think of everything that needs to be done a few weeks before the planning starts, so if you forget anything you have a few weeks to make sure everything is on the list. An even bigger tip is not to lose the list. Not to mention, make sure that you stick to your budget, as weddings can be very expensive, but they can also cost a lot less if you do proper planning and budgeting. With the right amount of wedding planning and the right amount of time and effort, everyone's wedding can go as smooth as a baby's bottom, and you can enjoy your perfect day to the fullest. Wedding planning exposed. The best man's role. The best man traditionally offers the first toast at a wedding. His toast can offer a thought-provoking look at married life, honor his friendship with the groom, or reveal intimate and often embarrassing details of the couple's courtship. The traditional toast is simply a short speech given verbally, but best men are free to try other approaches to the toast, such as a slideshow or a video presentation. The best man could also choose to give a verbal toast with a few new twists. Camping is one alternative to the traditional bachelor party. You may choose to either rough it by backpacking to a location with only the gear on your back to help you survive the elements for a few days, or you could choose to drive to a spa facility that offers well-appointed cabins and 5-star gourmet meals. Whichever option you choose, you are bound to have a great deal of time relaxing and enjoying the company of the rest of the participants in your bachelor party. A camping trip offers the groom a quiet atmosphere to reflect with his friends on the journey he is about to take. A slideshow is an increasingly popular way for the best man to toast the new couple. You could take the opportunity to display various pictures of the bride and groom separately and as a couple. One option is to interview both parents prior to the wedding and ask them to contribute pictures of their child from when they were a baby until now. You would ask the parents a series of questions about the bride or groom's childhood, adolescence and adult life. Then you could take the pictures and arrange them in a slideshow presentation that you could narrate with information gleaned from your interviews. This type of toast is especially popular with the older generation in attendance at the wedding, because many of them knew the bride or groom as children and will enjoy reminiscing about those times through the pictures and stories. It's wise to try choosing a sport that all of your guests will be able to participate in, especially if you plan to include very young or very old guests. In this situation, playing a game of football may not be the best idea, but taking everyone to play a round of golf might be an activity that all of the guests can enjoy. A video presentation is another unique way to make the best man's toast. One way to do this is to arrange meetings with close friends and family members and ask them a series of questions about love and relationships and videotape their answers. You could then videotape yourself giving a short toast and introducing the other members on the tape. This is an excellent idea for the best man who is afraid that he will forget what he wants to say on the wedding day. The video allows him to practice his speech and record it over and over again until it is perfect. Co-ed bachelor parties that coincide with the bachelorette party are becoming increasingly popular as well. One common practice involving these adjunct parties is to have the bachelors and bachelorettes meet at separate restaurants for dinner and then join each other at a nightclub to cap off the night with some dancing and a few drinks. These types of parties can be a great deal of fun because they allow both the bride and the groom some time apart to spend time with their friends, and then they reunite the couple at the end of the night in a chance for them to spend time with all of their friends without the pomp and circumstance that is likely to accompany their wedding reception. There are a variety of toasting options available to the best man. Whether he chooses to speak from the heart with an unprepared speech or invest time prior to the wedding to put together an elaborate presentation, the toast is sure to be appreciated as long as the best man is speaking from his heart. Wedding planning for brides: 5 leasing options for your wedding day. Back in the days, renting a wedding gown for that special day seemed completely absurd or out of question. Now the gown rental trend is not only fully accepted but in full swing and widespread among bridal shops across the country. Brides are simply looking at the practicality of a cost-effective way to have that luxurious wedding of their girlish childhood dreams. And what's wrong with renting instead of buying? In some cases, leasing can be 1/3 the price of buying. Taking a cue from the growing acceptance of gown rental, other services are emerging that provide brides options for perfecting their look for their wedding day. One of the newest and innovative leasing options for weddings is bridal jewelry leasing. This popular trend of leasing genuine, authentic jewelry at a fraction of the price is picking up steam with brides and their attendants. Brides who appreciate fine jewelry and are searching for an elegant alternative to costume jewelry are finding the affordable option of leasing their wedding jewelry to be a perfect solution. Like Hollywood celebrities, they get the beauty of a glamorous piece of jewelry around their neck or wrist for their special day without the expense. With the internet at their fingertips, working with web-based companies like Adorn Brides is a convenient way to add some bling to their wedding day. While renting or leasing wedding gowns and jewelry are very intimate items for brides to lease, there are many other accoutrements that brides may rent to add the perfect touch to their special day. Here are 4 other wedding rental options to consider for that special day. 1. Wedding limousine service. Can't forget the limousine. Renting a limousine service for your wedding day can not only be a wonderful way to travel on your special day but a great convenience to planning the travel arrangements for everyone involved in the wedding party. Depending on the size of your wedding party, more than one limousine may be necessary. 2. Wedding facility in a spectacular location. So many couples go with the usual wedding facility, from the local church hall to the upscale country club ballroom. Why not rent your facility in a vacation spot for all your guests to enjoy a vacation in a beautiful or exotic place? Lake Tahoe is often referred to as the perfect year-round vacation and wedding destination with terrific weather and breathtaking scenery. And if that doesn't work, why not a unique facility like a local botanical garden, city-owned mansion, a lighthouse or historical castle that rents for weddings? The wedding can even be arranged at the place where the couple had their first date: a vineyard, a park, the beach or even the zoo. 3. Wedding arch or huppah. Many couples deciding on outdoor weddings will rent the wedding arch or huppah to accessorize their altar area. The wedding arch or huppah canopy can be decorated with flowers, plants or balloons that match the floral and color theme of the wedding. The arches come in a variety of shapes and sizes: lattice, brass, heart-shaped, round, square and even gazebos to rent for the outside wedding altar. The decorations and accessories to the arch or huppah are many. Beach weddings can also rent torches leading up to the arch creating an aisle. Garden weddings can rent railing structures that can be configured many ways around the wedding arch to make room for a whole wedding party. 4. Unique dome tents. Why not become the talk of your town by thinking outside the box tent and renting a unique dome tent for the wedding? These futuristic structures are an all-in-one facility for that special for. From design concept and planning to setup and teardown, dome tent renters are available to work out all the details to pulling off the perfect wedding. Dome decorations can be spectacular, and most dome tents provide built-in media projection screens with natural acoustics. Will coordinate in-house music, lighting and interior design to your specifications. Besides the usual tuxedo, table linens and chair covers, these are just a few more innovative wedding rental options to considering when planning your special day. Wedding planning 101. Get ready, get set, get organized. So you've been to your local bookstore, surveyed the rather large collection of wedding books and wondered how anyone even gets through this whole planning process, and why all those wedding planning books are so thick. This is completely understandable. It's a bit on the daunting side. Planning a wedding is definitely not something you can throw together in a matter of days, and there will certainly be quite a few projects along the way to keep you busy. But these projects can actually be a lot of fun. And with a plan, you may even find yourself looking forward to them. 1. Most importantly, keep things simple. There will always be another photographer to interview, another centerpiece idea, another wedding favor website. When you find something that clicks with you, go with it. You've just crossed off one more thing on your wedding checklist. 2. Decide on a good filing system before you begin. Order a box of file folders or an accordion file with multiple sections to hold all of your contracts, notes, etc. If you are really ambitious, consider investing $20-30 in a labella at an office supply store. It keeps things especially neat and organized. As you go along, designate one folder for each aspect of your planning: caterer, rehearsal, dinner, guest list, etc. 3. Get started. Begin tackling items on your wedding checklist. Look at the first group of to-dos on the list. Don't try to do all of these at once. Take one at a time and consider putting the others on your calendar so that you know they'll get taken care of, just not all today. 4. Don't be afraid to delegate. Family members and attendants will more than likely be willing to help take on some of the planning tasks. If they offer, take them up on it. If there are parts of the planning that you know you don't need to be or care to be directly involved in, ask for help. 5. Have fun. While some tasks will take longer than others, there will be others that will balance out all of the hard work, treating yourself to a day at the spa, for example. Also, consider subscribing to one or more bridal magazines. When you think you've run out of wedding ideas, these glossy guides are a great pick-me-up. 6. And lastly, don't worry that you won't possibly be able to do all of these things. Everything will get done in due time, and you'll see all of your hard work pay off when things really start to come together. So start planning, and have fun. Wedding planning on the web. The web has become the dominant way to shop for electronics, travel, cars, housing, even education. But you can just as easily use the web to find caterers, event halls, dressmakers, DJs, photographers, videographers, even a wedding planner if you decide to take a break from doing it all yourself. Here's how the web helps you plan a wedding: local search. No, you don't have to sort through vendors from here to Timbuktu. Local search technology now makes finding someone downtown as easy as finding someone anywhere. If you use Google, you only have to enter a place name along with your keyword to get a list of local businesses. Try Wedding Planner Fargo without the quotes and see for yourself. Real people. The people you are buying from online aren't virtual. They're as real as the people you'd meet in person. In fact, especially with local business, the website is just a first contact. You can always call them up or arrange to meet in person. Dedicated wedding information websites. There are now websites solely devoted not just to planning a wedding, but to catering, wedding cakes, even dyeing shoes for weddings. These same websites often have directories of wedding vendors arranged by location. Message boards and customer reviews. You wouldn't buy a book on Amazon without reading a review a customer had left. Now you don't have to buy decorations that way, either. Web wedding planning alternatives. The web has a lot of advantages over most other ways of discovering and evaluating wedding vendors. Just look at what your other options are: recommendations from friends and colleagues. How much do your friends and colleagues really know about wedding planning? Very often, one person's idea of wedding elegance is any sane person's idea of bad taste. Just look at anyone's wedding pictures. You can't trust this decision to your friends. This is your big day. It deserves a little research. Bridal fairs. If the vendors at bridal fairs were so great, why would they be trawling for business? Do you want an in-demand wedding vendor or one who has to set up a booth and hand out free samples? Yellow Pages. I remember the time my mother used the Yellow Pages to find a contractor to install some new doors. During the holiday season, the draft would blow out the candles in the window if they weren't electric. Anyone can get in the Yellow Pages, and believe me, anyone does. Web wedding planning advantages. Selection. No offline source will ever have as many options, whether it's songs for the wedding reception or fabrics for the gowns. Ready information. As soon as you see an option you'd like to consider, you can find out all you'd ever like to know as easily as copying and pasting into Google. It's all in writing. By their very nature, websites put a lot of information in writing. The written policies regarding shipping, warranties if any, returns and service will almost always be easy to access. Hint. Look for links to policies at the bottom of each web page. The fact that everything is written down gives the vendor much less wiggle room to change the terms of the deal. Almost as good as the paper trail is the photograph trail, at least when it comes to merchandise. Save any relevant images along with the text. Better Business Bureau's convenient BB Online. On the web, it's easy to check for Better Business Bureau membership. The site should have the BB Online logo displayed prominently on the order page. Click on the logo to be taken to the bbb.org profile for that business. The BBB page should say that business is a member in good standing. With the BB Online, the Bureau's e-commerce program, you can dispute a sale without having to go to the local bureau where the store is headquartered. In short, the web makes it much easier to get a perfect wedding. Wedding music top tips on booking wedding musicians. How many musicians do I need? The size of the wedding party is the key to this question. A duo with discrete amplification can happily entertain a group of up to 60 to 70 people. A trio can cope with up to 100 people. As the party size increases, so does the size of the venue. You need more happening on stage to catch the attention and get the party going. A 4 or 5-piece band with a small PA system is generally required if the party is 100 or more. To entertain 200 people and beyond, the quality of the PA system and the lighting for the stage and dance floor becomes crucial to the success of the event. An act is required that is able to present a stage show that not only sounds good but also looks good in terms of movement and costume, with the ability to catch the attention of the crowd, even those at the back of a big hall. How do I find the right band? The quality of musicianship is the most important factor. Listen to recordings of the band performing live, where available. Repertoire and experience come next. How long has the band been involved in wedding entertainment? Can you talk to a satisfied customer, a couple who used the band for their wedding and were, hopefully, delighted with the result? If it's possible, watch the band perform live. However, if your wedding is in the UK, do be aware that recently revised licensing laws have made it very difficult and expensive to present live music in a public place, so public performances by bands of the quality you require for a successful wedding are a rarity. How will the performance be organized? You can expect approximately 3x 45-minute sets of live music in a 4-hour period, or 2x 1-hour sets if it suits you better. If the musicians are carrying a PA system, they will probably come equipped with a CD player and will be able to play CDs of a similar style of music 4.5 an hour before the first set and in the breaks between the sets, giving professional quality background music when the band is off stage. And peace of mind, organize your music through a reputable agency. Make sure you receive, sign and return a contract stipulating when the band will arrive, when the performance will take place, and the agreed amount of remuneration. You should expect to be able to talk to the bandleader a few weeks before the wedding to discuss any specific preferences you require. That first dance is something really special. If you approach the band well before the event, the guys will usually be prepared to learn your chosen song, if it's not already in their repertoire. How much should I expect to pay? Reliability and quality of performance are the two attributes that are essential for headache-free, successful music at a wedding. If you go for cheap, you are likely to sacrifice either or both of the above. In the UK, a professional musician will expect to take home 150 for an engagement. On top of that, there are equipment and travel costs, along with publicity, advertising and agency costs. As a rule of thumb, you can expect to pay 250 for a solo performance, 300-400 for a duo, 450-625 for a trio. A 4-piece band starts at approximately 800. Depending on the versatility of the musicians, the quality of equipment, PA system, possibly backlighting for the stage and for the dance floor, the price increases to 1,500. Larger bands cost proportionately more. To see the variety and versatility of the wedding bands available in the British Isles, take a look at http://www.hopteledrop.co.uk/band_menu.htm. The AZ of wedding bands in the UK. Wedding rings. Finding the best fit for your finger and your budget. When it comes to shopping for wedding rings, it's important to purchase a band that will symbolize your never-ending bond of eternal love. An unbroken band of gold or silver that is exchanged with this very thought in mind should not only be the right fit for your finger but also for your budget. The most classic design for wedding rings is that of a yellow gold band, which is available in either 10 knots, 14 knots, 18 knots or even 24 knots gold. Because gold is flexible, it's most durable in its 10 knots form. Because 10 knots gold wedding rings feature less actual gold content, they're also the most affordable. At the other end of the equation is 24 knots gold, which is very rich in color but also very flexible and therefore more susceptible to damage. In addition, 24 knots gold is the most expensive of all gold creations. For the couple who dares to be different, wedding rings can also be exchanged as either rose or white gold. Polished, textured, wide and slim designed bands are all available for the bride and groom to choose from. Although these gold colorations may be more difficult to find than the traditional yellow gold, they continue to be a popular choice for many newlyweds simply because they are unique. For the couple who is especially cost conscious, there's the option of choosing sterling silver wedding rings. In many places, a wide-band sterling silver ring can be purchased for less than $50 each and is, therefore, a very practical choice for many newlyweds. Sterling silver, like gold, is a precious metal and is designed to last a lifetime. The main difference between sterling silver and gold wedding rings, in addition to the coloration and content, is the fact that sterling silver requires more maintenance than gold. Regular polishing and careful storage are required for keeping your sterling silver in pristine condition and free of tarnish. One of the most important aspects of shopping for wedding rings is making sure that the sizes are accurately determined before making the purchase. If necessary, either gold or sterling silver wedding rings can be resized by a knowledgeable jeweler. When shopping, it's a good idea to keep in mind that a thinner band will fit more true to size than a wide band, which may require that the wearer move up one size to ensure a comfortable fit. When it comes to finding the best deal on wedding rings, the bargain of a lifetime may not be as far away as you think. Among the most popular places to find wedding rings are online auctions and jewelry wholesalers. The most common places to shop are at jewelers and specialty designers, but consumers need to be ready to spend big bucks with either of these options. If your chosen wedding rings are a little above your current budget, consider placing them on layaway and making regular monthly payments. This will allow for less strain on your wallet and less stress in wondering how you are going to pay for your wedding rings. Wedding poetry to use at a wedding. Wedding poetry has been used to spice up any ceremony. It's amazing how poetry's play of words effectively translate the heart's language. This is basically the reason why poetry reading is a standard activity in wedding activities. Poetries are usually used as part of wedding vows, activity programs, ceremonial weddings, speeches and toasts. There are limitless selections of wedding poetries you can choose from for that big day. You can just grab some snippets from a longer poem or get a shorter one and entirely use it with modifications. Popular poetries are those written by George Sand, Thomas More, Khalil Gibran or Shakespeare. There are other contemporary writers having the same passion that are eminent in traditional poetries. Just by surfing on the internet, you can find poetries that can be used for wedding ceremonies that are submitted by ordinary people. These contributors are simply inspired by love and their poems are very well written too. If you feel you don't relate with any of published works or submitted poems, you can go ahead and create one or hire a personalized wedding poetry vendor. The internet is a portal to find one. A phone interview or an online conference will be conducted by the vendor. This will be used as a reference for his writing. It's recommended that both the bride and groom will attend the interview. Looking for poetry provider is not a hard job. You can ask your wedding coordinators, the head of your clergy, for recommendations. You might even have a friend or a family member who can write real well. Professional wedding poem providers may charge as high as $100. Compare prices and sample works of at least 3 vendors. This way you can weigh your options and select the best vendor with a reasonable price. Pick the one you are comfortable in dealing with. Give the provider ample time to complete the poem. A good one would take time. Be sure to order around 6 months or so before the wedding. Wedding planning 101. Keep it simple with a wedding timeline for brides and grooms. You are engaged. You certainly want to enjoy this wonderful and magical time in your life, but you know that planning your own wedding is going to be a big job. The following checklists might make it a little easier for you to keep it simple, keep it organized, and keep you sane. The 12-month countdown, 6 to 12 months before your wedding. The wedding date has been set, and now, like any large project, it's a good idea to step back and take a look at the big picture first, then break it down to the finer details later. The big picture: who, what, where, and how. Decide who will pay for what, where you'll get married, and how expenses will be shared. Talk to friends, family, bridal consultants, or wedding coordinators to get the direction you need for starting an organization system. For most couples, the wedding day can be a blur, so decide early on the best way to capture your special day's cherished memories, like with an Adesso photo guest book. The details. Once you've your organization system in place, start going down your to-do detail list. Here are a few of the critical ones. Call your church or synagogue for an appointment with the officiate. Explore pre-marriage counseling. Decide on what size wedding you want. Consider and decide on wedding attendance. Start a guest list for the wedding. Begin determining ideas, themes, color schemes for your wedding and reception. Select a reception location and a caterer if need be. Consider reception entertainment. Select a florist. Together, shop for wedding rings, select a wedding dress, headpiece, and schedule fittings. Decide on the bridesmaids' dresses for 2 to 6 months prior to wedding date. As the wedding date gets closer, the to-do list will consist of finer and finer details. And because you put an organization system in place months ago, you won't miss a one. Check details and requirements for marriage license, coordinate, theme, and color schemes with florist and decorator. Decide on a gift registry and register your gift selections. Order your invitations and other wedding stationery. Shop for the groom's attire and select what the men in the wedding will wear. Select wedding ceremony readings. Select wedding ceremony music. Decide and order wedding favors. Select a bakery for the cake. Arrange and plan honeymoon. Review your agreements with all your vendors and service providers to ensure you haven't forgotten any details. 2 months and counting. Mail out invitations. Arrange and plan your rehearsal dinner. Select and purchase your wedding day accessories. Arrange attendance parties. Coordinate and prepare accommodations for out-of-town guests. Select a hairdresser and makeup artist and schedule those appointments. Finalize those honeymoon plans. 1 month to go. Last wedding dress fitting. Final fitting for bridesmaids' dresses. Final fitting for men attendants. Get marriage license. Have your wedding attendance parties. Shop and purchase your outfit to wear when you leave the reception. Organize the final checklist of wedding day events. Confirm all the wedding day accessories are in order, i.e. rings, pillows, garter, etc. 2 weeks remaining. It's finalizing time. Finalize entertainment arrangements. Go over and finalize music lists and special music events, i.e. first dance, dance with parents, etc. 1 week before your big day. Review your marriage license to make sure it's in order. Prepare seating arrangements for ceremony. Prepare payment envelopes for officiate, entertainment, and vendors, and give to the person who will handle that. Confirm honeymoon reservations. Make necessary honeymoon preparations, i.e. bank, traveler's checks, etc. Prepare and pack for honeymoon. Confirm out-of-town guest accommodations and transportation. Check in with the florist to confirm arrival time set up. Have your wedding ceremony rehearsal, letting everyone know what they will do on the wedding day. Have and enjoy your rehearsal dinner. Your wedding day. Allow plenty of time for your scheduled hair and makeup appointments. Allow at least 2 hours for dressing. Bring the rings and marriage license, and most importantly, take a long deep breath and relax and enjoy your day. Wedding reception site rental checklist. When you book your reception site, be sure that you understand what is and is not included in the rental fee. Each facility is different, so you've to clarify with the manager of the property what can be provided by the venue and what you must provide. As always, make sure that everything you've agreed upon is put in writing. Depending on the venue, you may need to supply some, if not all, the items listed below. Chairs for a seated dinner or seated buffet. You need to provide seating for all reception guests. For a buffet-style reception, you may able to get away with enough chairs for 4.5 or more of the total number of guests. You may need to rent or purchase chair covers separately. High chairs for children should be available from rental companies. Guest tables. Smaller tables like a 36-inch round will comfortably seat 4 to 6 guests and be appropriate for a buffet-type menu. Larger tables like a 48-inch round will seat 6 to 8 guests, or a 60-inch round seats 8 to 10 guests. Regardless of their size, all guest tables are preset with flatware, glassware, linen napkins and coffee cups that work well for a seated dinner. Cake table. Usually a 48-inch round works well, but the appropriate size will depend on the size of your wedding cake. Make sure you include the decorative adds to the cake display like floral or linen accents. Be sure the cake table is located in a highly visible, but low traffic location. You want to show it since it is part of the decor, but keep it out of the high traffic areas to keep it safe. Groom's cake table. If the groom's cake has not been served during the rehearsal dinner, a 36-inch round will work flawlessly. Head table. The most important factor about this table is that is facing the guests. A very common head table arrangement is several rectangular tables placed end to end to seat your entire wedding party. Buffet tables. If you've decided on a buffet dinner, you'll need to arrange several food stations such as meat carving, etc. Buffet tables may be provided by the catering company. Gift table. The wedding gifts are placed on this table. The size should depend on the number of guests you are expecting. Guest book table. A small table for your reception guest book. Linens. Tableware. Linens and tableware may be included with the rented tables, or you may need to source it elsewhere. Tents could be lifesaver outdoor receptions to protect guests from the sun or rainfall. May be used as a plan B for a rainy day. Wedding ring. The wedding ring is a ring that will often be made from precious metals, and it will be worn on the left ring finger. It is also worn on the right ring finger in countries such as Norway or Russia. The purpose of a wedding ring is to represent a marriage. Both spouses will wear rings to show that they're committed to each other. The custom originated in Europe, but has spread to many other countries which are outside of Europe. In some cultures, the wedding ring is only one of 3 rings that will be given when a couple is in the process of getting married. The other 2 rings are the engagement ring and the promise ring. The engagement ring is well known and will be given when a couple has become engaged. A promise ring is not as well known but will be given once a couple begins courting each other. In many European countries, the name of the soon-to-be spouse will be placed within the ring. While wedding rings have traditionally been worn by women, wedding rings are now designed for men as well. It's the responsibility of the best man to make sure the rings of the couple are cared for. The best man will present both rings during the marriage ceremony. In highly intricate weddings, a ring bearer may be used to carry the rings as well. The ring bearer will usually be a young male who is related to either the groom or bride. He will carry the rings on elaborate pillows. In some European countries, the engagement ring is the wedding ring, and the status of the ring will change once the couple is married. If a different ring is used for the wedding ring, the bride may still wear it if she chooses. The choice of which finger the ring should be worn on has changed over the centuries. Traditionally, the 4th finger on the left or right hand has always been used, and when a married couple wears their rings on their left hands, this is a sign that they've eternal love for each other. While wedding bands have historically been worn by women in the US and UK, they're now commonly worn by men. The use of diamonds on wedding ring is extremely popular. The precious metals that are used in the ring will often be gold or white gold, but titanium has also become popular, especially for men. Many couples will avoid using diamonds and will use other precious gems such as rubies or sapphires. In addition to this, stainless steel is now being used in a number of wedding rings. Stainless steel has a much higher durability than gold and can showcase a better finish than titanium. Some metals are poisonous, and are not used for wedding rings. If you want to buy a gem, you'll want to measure the quality based on its softness. Gems have a softness scale that ranges from 1 to 10. A gem with a rating of 1 will be the softest, while a gem with a rating of 10 will be the hardest. Gems that have a rating of 7 should not be picked for wedding rings. Wedding reception favors. A welcome for your guests. Wedding reception favors are those small tokens that say so much. After the excitement of months of planning, you are finally married. Now the fun can really begin. Wedding reception favors sit waiting for your guests at their table setting, inviting them to join in the fun with you. So choose your wedding reception favors carefully. They don't have to be expensive, but they should be welcoming. To nearly every couple, the wedding reception is as important as the ceremony itself, as this is when the bride and groom get to share their joy with their families and friends. Wedding reception favors are the couple's first gesture towards their invited guests and so convey an important message. Whether large or small, expensive or more thrifty, the ideal wedding reception favor should say, "Welcome, come and join the fun." There's no more welcoming wedding reception favor than something personal, something that reflects the bride and groom and the relationship they share. Symbols of love are often chosen as wedding reception favors for this reason. 4 cheap wedding favors can include simple items, including heart-shaped boxes and candies, ribbons, and even confetti. The secret of effective wedding reception favors is often simplicity, and this means that wedding favors don't have to cost the earth. The embracing sense of welcome is conveyed as much in the arrangement of the table setting as the gift itself, and cheap wedding favors can be highly effective when arranged thoughtfully. Pretty stationery and wild flowers are as beautiful a wedding reception favor as a more expensive gift. Every bride has spent hours reading bridal magazines and has seen a multitude of beautiful table setting examples. The magic behind each and every one of these is not the expense with which wedding reception favors were purchased, but the care and creativity with which the settings were arranged. So welcome your guests to your wedding party by choosing wedding reception favors that embody the happiness of your special day. Arrange your favors with thought and care to send your guests the welcoming message that wedding reception favors were created to convey. Choose your wedding reception favors to make a special day. Wedding music tips. How to choose the best wedding music. So you've exchanged vows and have said your I do's. Now it's time to head out to the reception and party like you've never partied before. If you want live music playing in your reception, then you would want to hire a live band. But first you must check with people that rent the venue where you are going to hold your reception to see what type of live music they allow. Some venues have stringent restrictions when it comes to live music. The type of music that you choose to play in your wedding should be an expression of both the bride and groom's personality, personal taste, and the overall theme of the wedding. It's very important to select the right music because the music will become a pervading presence all throughout the wedding and right down to the reception. Music creates an atmosphere. It will set the mood of your wedding. During the wedding itself, the choice of music usually depends on the wedding. Most church ceremonies don't allow secular music. They stick to more traditional or religious music. A man and a woman duet is usually sung during the ceremony. A church organist usually provides the majority of the music. For the reception, the bride and groom has a choice of recorded music, or live music. If you opt for recorded music, it would be best to hire the services of a DJ. The best thing about this is you can request to have all of your favorite songs in the playlist. Ask your friends if they know any good DJs that are willing to play for wedding receptions. If they don't know any, you could always just search the yellow pages, internet, or even contact your local radio station. Once you've settled on a DJ, have a one-on-one discussion with the DJ. Just to explain what type of entertainment and mood you want to have during the reception. Also discuss the selection of music that you have in mind. Ask if the DJ is familiar with wedding protocol. If not, you might want to brief the DJ first about the sensibility of the event. On the other hand, choosing live music offers you a choice of hiring a band, soloist, instrumentalists, jazz group, etc. It all depends on what kind of theme you have in mind for your wedding. For more formal weddings, classical groups, piano soloists, and instrumentalists are more appropriate. It would not be a bad idea to also consider the sensibilities of your guests, to ensure that everyone has a good time. If you want to have a rocking good time for the reception of your wedding, then hiring a band is the way to go. The energy of a live band gets people going. There's nothing else that spells a rocking good time better than a rock and roll band. Before hiring a band, ask them if you could listen to their music first. This will help you decide if that particular band is just right for you. Also discuss if the band will do MC duties, as well as provide the music. It's best to hire a band that has had previous experience with wedding receptions. This way they'd know what to expect and will be able to provide the proper entertainment that's fitting for the occasion. You always want to keep the music going, so include some background music even when the meals are being served or when the bride and groom are doing their rounds of greeting, having their pictures taken, etc. This will also maintain the atmosphere of the wedding all throughout the reception. So choose wisely, because your choice of music can make or break this occasion. Wedding gift registries, couple's most common questions. The bakery agreed to make your almond-flavored multi-tiered cake. You found a bridesmaid's dress in just the right shade of robin's egg blue. Finally, the wedding plans are falling into place. What about your wedding gift registry? Today the options for wedding gift registries are endless. To help cut through the clutter, Demetra Bernard of Springmade Home Fashions answers these common questions about wedding gift registries. Q. Where should brides and grooms look for registries? Virtually every retail outlet offers a registry, making it easy to find everything you need from pillows to power saws. There is no rule that says all of your registered items need to come from one place. For example, you can choose Egyptian cotton sheets from Walmart, tools from Lowe's, and a retro telephone from Pottery Barn. Q. Is it better to register in the store or online? How you register is a personal preference. The benefit to registering in the store is the touch factor. You can feel the softness of a towel or see if the ecru colored blender matches your other appliances. On the other hand, registering online means that you don't have to adjust your schedule around store hours. Online registries also are easier for gift givers, especially far-flung family and friends who might not live near the store. Most brick-and-mortar stores now have their registries accessible both in the store and online, so you can decide which method works best for you. Q. What do most people forget to put on their registries? One of the most forgotten items are blankets. For some, it's a utilitarian item that's easy to overlook. For others, it's just too confusing to decide on a fabric. Choosing between cotton, thermal, flannel, acrylic, down-filled, knit, woven, or herringbone can make your head spin. But although it may take a few minutes to get educated on the best blanket for having one on your bed or in your linen closet is a must, especially when your new spouse turns down the thermostat. Q. Should couples register for the really good stuff? The tradition of wedding gift giving started as a way for family and friends to help newlyweds who were moving out of their parents' homes and into an empty house set up their new home. Today's brides and grooms are marrying later in life and likely have lived on their own at college or in an apartment and have already accumulated some of the basics. So a registry can be the couple's chance to indulge in the really good stuff. They shouldn't feel guilty, as the good stuff isn't all that expensive anymore. Springmade, for example, offers high-quality linens, 300 thread count and 100% cotton for about $50. As people continue to seek out luxury offerings for their own homes, it's likely they will be willing to spend a little bit more to assure their families and friends get a taste of luxury. Wedding lore. There are few other life events as steeped in tradition as weddings. Do you know the origins of our present-day customs? Why do we follow them? Well, that one is easy. You do it because your mom did and her mom and so on back countless generations. Here is some of the history behind many of our modern-day wedding traditions. Bridesmaid dresses are often identical in style and color. Why? In ancient times, the bride's friends and female relatives would dress exactly like the bride in an effort to fool evil spirits bent on spoiling her happiness. The post-vow kiss. The ancient Romans sealed every legal contract with a kiss. Thus, the marriage was not legal until the bride and groom kissed. This is why the wedding official says, "You may now kiss the bride." The white wedding gown. Brides have always worn white, right? No, white wedding dresses did not become common in the West until Queen Victoria wore one at her wedding. Before that, bright colors were the norm. The receiving line originated in ancient times when it was believed that good luck came to anyone who touched the bride and groom on their wedding day. Giving away the bride. Long ago, an unmarried girl or woman was considered her father's property, so at the wedding he would walk her down the aisle of the church and give her away, thereby transferring ownership to the husband. Why does the groom carry the bride across the threshold? There's more than one bit of lore about this practice. One is that when a girl could be kidnapped and forced to marry against her will, the groom would have to carry her by force into her new home. Another is that ancient Romans considered it bad luck for a bride to trip when crossing the threshold of her new home. So the groom would carry her in. Tying the knot. In Celtic, Egyptian and Hindu cultures, the hands of the bride and groom were tied together to symbolize their new bond and commitment to the marriage. June weddings. Roman mythology held Juno as the god of home, childbirth, and marriage. This is thought to be where the popularity of June weddings originated. Best man. Back when a man would steal his bride, he would often have to fight her male relatives to keep her. He depended on his best man friend and help in fighting them and to get him and his bride safely to the church. A locked church door. In Irish tradition, once the bride and groom were safely inside the church, guests would lock the church door to prevent the groom from running if he changed his mind. Honeymoon. This is another practices with different legends about its origin. One is that if a man kidnapped a girl and could keep her hidden from her family for a month, moon, she was his to marry. Another is that parents would keep the couple supplied with mead, a drink made from fermented honey. For a moon, there would be a male offspring within a year. There are hundreds of other wedding customs, many of them unique to a particular religious or ethnic heritage. So if you want something different at your wedding, seek out the traditions of your heritage. Wedding list. Why is it only special people have special weddings? Weddings are notably known to be one of the happiest days in a person's life, and yet everyone cries at them. The mind boggles. Could it be about losing a son or daughter, or could it be that others know what lays ahead if the couple that are about to marry get it wrong when organizing their wedding list, leaving them with a huge amount of debt? Wedding list arrangements should be carefully planned well in advance to save any heartache at a later date, like when setting up a home or even having to put on hold the sound of tiny feet that pitter-patter in the night because of financial difficulties. This is not the way to start married life. What it can be is the start of divorce proceedings if not careful. Weddings planned on a budget are just as special as the wedding that is not. The only difference is that one costs more than the other. An organized wedding list or rota prioritizing your wedding in stages will prove to be a stress-free task. We are all aware that two heads are better than one, so why not have a friend or member of the family sit down with you and write a wedding list too? Then compare each other's notes. You'll be surprised how some wedding essentials are easily overlooked. Remember to itemize all wedding ideas onto a master copy wedding list. Once the wedding list has been finalized with all what's needed for your wedding, call up your friend once again for some advice on how they think you can save money on the more costly items like the venue hall, wedding cars, reception, etc. Cost-effective can be effective if done tastefully, especially like that the arranging of the bridal bouquet or wedding cake. Homemade cakes are just as tasty, delicious, and the flowers just as fresh, created by your own hand. Other ways of saving on the pennies is to have family members help with the wedding catering instead of a sit-down lavish meal. Settle for the running buffet. You just lavish the thought. Wedding invitations can also be specially designed to match the theme of your wedding by you yourself with the help of a home computer, which I hasten to add is another great way to find ideas and tips from online wedding sites that give out free information on how to make your wedding day special. The options are endless for the future bride and groom to even out their bank balance to cover the cost. Special weddings are planned by special people who want something special out of life, and if that is to have a happy life, then that has to be the most special wedding essential to be itemized on that wedding list. Terms and conditions. Legal notice. The publisher has strived to be as accurate and complete as possible in the creation of this report, notwithstanding the fact that he does not warrant or represent at any time that the contents within are accurate due to the rapidly changing nature of the Internet. While all attempts have been made to verify information provided in this publication, the publisher assumes no responsibility for errors, omissions, or contrary interpretation of the subject matter herein. Any perceived slights of specific persons, peoples, or organizations are unintentional. In practical advice books, like anything else in life, there are no guarantees of income made. Readers are cautioned to rely on their own judgment about their individual circumstances to act accordingly. This book is not intended for use as a source of legal, business, accounting, or financial advice. All readers are advised to seek services of competent professionals in legal, business, accounting, and finance fields. You are encouraged to print this book for easy reading. Don't leave before you press like button below and subscribe to this channel. As a subscriber, you will receive a new notifications every time a new video is uploaded. Good luck.